What we do here is go back.
This is Eat and Drink, the mini episode, hosted by Ali Hassan and Marco Timpano. Some mature content and language may come up, so consider yourself warned. Now, get ready for Eat and Drink.
Welcome to another mini episode of Eat and Drink. That's Marco Timpano right there.
That's Ali Hassan.
And we're going to talk about food in airports. You touched on this subject when we did another mini episode. Normally, we don't remember a goddamn thing we say.
Kudos to you, because I put the onus on you, and you were like,
And here I am.
We're
And
doing
here
it.
I am doing it properly.
You always deliver. I'll stand, but you deliver.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Do we want to change the name of the podcast? Eat and Drink or Stand and Deliver? It's tough now. It's tough. Eat and Drink it is. And we are going to talk about food in airports. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I feel like it's a subject all on its own. There has been this resurgence, not resurgence, surgence without the re.
Yeah.
Right? And because many airports it was so I have a story to kick us off with. I audition for a lot of stuff. I'm very, I feel very, very lucky and blessed to get a lot of works. But you also get rejected from a lot of stuff. But you don't focus on that. You get to a level of maturity where you're like, whoever. I once got rejected in the very same call that I got pitched to. And it was kind of my own fault, but no. So here's what happens.
Okay.
I get a phone call from a man I haven't spoken to in a few years, but he knows me as a guy who was a food guy back in Montreal, and he calls and he's like, "Are you still interested in hosting a food show on television?"
This is great.
I said, "Amazing, yeah, man. Thank you for thinking of me. Of course, Bernie, I'd be happy to. What are you working on?" He goes, "Well, we have an idea for a show." And I've got you in mind for this. This first, it's on email, then it turns to a phone call. So he chats with me on the phone about exactly what this is. He goes, "All right, so as you may have noticed," this is going back about 3 years. He goes, "As you may have noticed, in airports around the world, there is this new thing where you can actually eat very well in many airports. All these, the Jamie Kennedys, and, Jamie Kennedys and the Wolfgang Pucks and the Mario Batalis of the world are making these little outposts."
Kim, what's her name in Toronto Airport? Not Crawford. Kim
Crawford.
Is it Kim
That's
Crawford?
exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, Roger Mooking in the Toronto Airport has Twist, and so he's like, "You can eat very well."
Yeah.
We are doing a show called Fly Me to the Food.
Ooh, wait, are you allowed to say this?
This is from 3 years ago.
Okay.
Fly Me to the Food.
I love this
Don't
idea.
know what happened to it.
Okay.
Fly Me to the Food. So we are going to go. We want to go from airport, to airport to all these chefs and talk to them about their food in airports. So
love
the
it.
show will be in like multiple destinations and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, "And I thought of you, and I thought you'd be a great host for this." And I go, "Amazing.
He's not
this
wrong.
Is great.
Yeah.
This is great." And then I have a little thought, and I'm like, "Should I say this?" I'll say it. I go, "So you've thought about this, right, Bernie? Like I'm into it, but this is now we're talking about an Ali Hassan going from airport to airport, customs, airport. I mean, obviously you've thought about that, right? This is a time where I'm like just coming out of like secondary screening all the time at airports. It doesn't happen very often anymore, but this is like 4 or 5 years ago. It was happening on a fairly regular basis. And this is what I swear to you. He goes, yeah, of course. Hey, could I call you right back?
Oh, no.
And he hung up, and I never heard from him again.
Oh, no.
I talked myself out of a job. In my defense, they would have eventually been like, "Wait a minute, this could be problematic. What if he's in secondary screening and we need to get here or there?
Right.
We should probably not go with an Ali Hassan for this particular gig." And yeah, I never heard from that man again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I got this call from a friend named Bernie.
You son of a bitch.
No. Because Marco Timpano has no problems going.
Yeah.
I
No,
should
he
knock
doesn't.
on wood.
He doesn't. We'll see about that.
Yeah, now that I've said
One
it.
call is all it takes
All
from
it takes,
me.
then.
My friend.
I'm sorry
Marco.
that turned the way it did.
Yeah. I mean, but it was so great. But it's funny because every time I'm in an airport, I think to myself, like, hey, could have been maybe interviewing one of these guys here.
Yeah.
What is the best airport meal you've ever had?
Oh, that's a great question.
Top 3 then, if it's too difficult.
I'm sure I've had a great meal. Oh, you know what? We had a great meal in the Vienna airport. My wife and I.
Vienna. I bet.
We were in Vienna. You know when you get a stopover for 24 hours and you're able to sort of explore the city, and then you have to get back to your next destination, kind of thing. So I think it was we had gone to, I can't even remember, but we ended up in Vienna for a day before we were coming back home to Toronto, and we were at this little restaurant, and I had told my wife, I go, Austria and Vienna are famous for the Zuckertorte, right? She's like, what is that? I go, I don't think you're going to like it. It involves chocolate and orange, and it's a cake and whatnot. So we go to this little place, and it was like breakfast time. And I'm like, oh, there's the Zuckertorte. I go, it has that shape on it, right? She goes, I need to have it. So I'm like, all right, we'll get a slice and coffee. And
Sounds amazing. Orange and chocolate is a great combo.
Oh, have you never had a Zuckertorte?
No.
Oh, really? Okay, well, when I worked at a country club, we used to make it all the time, and I didn't like the way they made it. But I was proven wrong in Austria, where
Of
they
all
make it
places,
in
of
the
course.
airport, where you're like, of all places, that's not going to make a good
Yes.
Zuckertorte. Because it was, I think the Zucker Hotel is famous, and that's where it gets its name. I could be wrong, but we're in the airport in Vienna eating this cake with a cappuccino, and it's like, this is the best. She goes, why were you saying I won't like it? This is amazing. An idiot wouldn't like this. I go, well, no. I said like. I didn't think you'd like it. I never had it this good before. So that's one that I really remember. I think the Rome airport, too, has some really lovely little kiosks. And I had a pizza in the Rome airport that was out of this world.
Sure. I think the key is to fly international
Yeah.
because in the international, what do you call it, wing? No. In the international...
corridors or the terminal.
Terminal is the word I'm looking for. Those terminals are definitely a couple notches above. That's where like these chefs invest their money and their time,
Sure.
obviously, and it makes sense. It represents your city well to a whole this people with money. Let's just say that more people with money flying. And I fly a lot domestically, so I don't get I'll tell you honestly, Calgary and Vancouver. There's almost nothing.
Right.
There's like a Chili's, and it's like it's not great, unfortunately. But Montreal's doing a great job. Although Montreal had this place where they would roast lamb inside this boxed glass oven, and they would have lamb on skewers, 3-4 going at a time. And so that place, I would just be like, I want your lamb and your Greek potatoes. Oh, you don't want the shallot, tzatziki. I'm like, yeah, tzatziki for sure, but I don't want the salad. I don't want. Let's just get right to what we're doing here. And that place closed down.
Oh, no. Wow.
And it's been replaced by Yule Pizza, YUL Pizza, YUL being the airport code for Montreal. So disappointed. God damn Yule
So
Pizza.
what are your favorite?
Well, so as I fly domestically, I go to places where, like when I go to Toronto, this is my regular routine.
Okay.
I'm going for work.
Right.
I don't take vacations without my family. I'm going for work. However, it's a fine line. So my work, because I love it so much, has a vacation feel to it.
Okay.
So this is my routine. I go to the Toronto airport and I start saying to myself, you don't need a beer at the airport.
No, you don't.
You do not need a beer at the airport.
No.
I go through, I get through the gates, security, repeat to myself, I don't need a beer. You don't